How many times have you said the same thing to your child today? Can you please put your shoes on? 5 minutes later, can you please put your shoes on? 10 minutes later, can you please put your shoes on? If you're exhausted from repeating yourself and feeling completely ignored by your own child, I need to tell you something important. It's not that your child won't listen. It's that you're accidentally teaching them not to listen by how you're communicating. The good news, there's a simple 3-word shift that changes everything. And today I'm going to teach you exactly how to use it so your child becomes a first-time listener. No more repeating yourself, no more feeling disrespected in your own home. Just calm, clear communication that actually works. Here's what most parents don't realize. When you ask, "Can you please put your shoes on?" you're actually asking a question. A question requires a response. Your child's brain hears this as optional, something that they can decide to do or not to do. I see this pattern constantly in my parent coaching practice. Parents use polite, respectful language, which is wonderful in a relationship, but they're accidentally communicating that compliance is negotiable. Can you please clean up? Would you like to come to dinner? Can you put the iPad down? All questions, all optional in your child's mind. Research on authoritative parenting from Diana Baumrind shows that effective parents communicate expectations clearly and warmly, but they don't make compliance optional. There's a huge difference between being kind and being unclear. And when we phrase our expectations as questions, we're being unclear about whether it's truly a request or a requirement. One parent told me, "I thought I was being respectful by asking nicely. I didn't realize that I was teaching my son that he could just ignore me." But once she made this shift, everything changed. Now, are you ready for this simple shift? Instead of asking, "Can you please?" you're going to state, "It's time to." It's time to put your shoes on. It's time to clean up. It's time for dinner. 3 words that completely change how your child's brain processes your request. Why does this work? Because "it's time to" communicates several things simultaneously. First, it signals a transition is happening. Neurologically, this helps children prepare for change. Second, it removes a question format, making it clear that it isn't optional. And third, it sounds calm and matter-of-fact, not threatening or angry. Here's what happens when you make this shift. Your child's brain begins to recognize this as an expectation, not a negotiation. You sound confident and clear instead of uncertain. And because you're not asking a question, they don't feel invited to say no. One parent shared, "The first morning I said, 'It's time to get dressed,' instead of 'Can you get dressed?' my daughter just got dressed. I almost couldn't believe it. No argument, no 20-minute battle. She just complied." That's the power of clear communication. Here's the crucial part. "It's time to" only works if you follow through with action. If you say, "It's time to put shoes on," and then walk away hoping it happens, you're back to being ignored. Now here's the framework. State the expectation once calmly. "It's time to put your shoes on." Then pause for 5 to 10 seconds. Give your child time to process and comply. If they don't move on, you calmly add, "Shoes on now, or I'll help you." Notice what you're doing here. You're giving a clear expectation, waiting for compliance, and now you're communicating the consequence. You're not threatening, you're not yelling, you're just making it clear that shoes are going on one way or another. And they get to choose whether they do it independently or with your assistance. And then, and this is vital, you follow through. If they still don't comply, then you calmly help put their shoes on. No lecture, no anger, just calm, consistent action that matches your words. This teaches your child that when you say, "It's time," you mean it every single time. One parent told me, "I had to physically help my son with shoes exactly 3 times. By the 4th day, he just put them on when I said, 'It's time.' He learned I was serious." That is consistency in action. Now here's something critical. "It's time to" only works when your tone matches your words. If you say, "It's time to clean up," but your voice is pleading or uncertain, your child's brain picks up on that incongruence. You want to sound calm, clear, and caring. What I call the 3 C's to effective communication. Calm means you're regulated, not reactive. Clear means your words are specific and direct. And caring means that your tone communicates love and empathy, even when you're setting a boundary. Practice this. Stand in front of the mirror and say, "It's time to get ready for bed," in 3 different tones. First, say it with frustration and an edge in your voice. Notice how it sounds aggressive. Children resist that. Second, say it with pleading, uncertain tones. Notice how that sounds weak. Children ignore that. Finally, say it with calm confidence. Matter of fact, like you're sharing information, not starting a battle. That's the tone that works. Your child is reading your tone more than your words. When your tone communicates, I'm in control and I believe you'll comply, they usually do. When your tone communicates, please, I hope you listen, then they sense your uncertainty and test it. One parent shared, I recorded myself and realized I sounded desperate when I talked to my kids. Once I practiced calm confidence, they started responding completely differently. Your tone teaches them whether to take you seriously. Okay, real talk. Even with perfect communication, some children will test boundaries. That's totally normal. So what do you do when it's time to doesn't get immediate compliance? First, check the timing. Did you give enough warning? Children's brains need transition time. If you say it's time to leave when they're deep in play with zero warning, resistance is normal. Try this instead. In 5 minutes, it's time to leave. Last few minutes of playing. Then when 5 minutes pass, it's time to leave now. Second, check the 6 nemesis of good behavior: hunger, thirst, fatigue, heat, pain, and being cooped up inside. If your child is exhausted or hungry, even perfect communication won't work because their brains can't regulate. Fix the physical need first. Finally, remember that it's time to is just one strategy that's part of a complete parenting framework that I call the 5 C's to amazing parenting. The complete system creates first-time listeners. And also, be patient with yourself. If you've been asking questions for years, it will take time to retrain both your habits and your child's expectations. But every time you state instead of ask, you're building new patterns. One parent told me after 2 weeks of consistent "it's time to" statements, my kids just started complying. They became normal. You're not a bad parent because your child doesn't listen to you the first time. You've just been using communication patterns that accidentally teach them that they don't have to. But now you know better. It's time to is more than just 3 words. It's a completely different approach to communicating with your child. It's calm, clear, and confident. It sets you up for success instead of constant battles. And it teaches your child that you mean what you say, which helps to build respect and trust in your relationship. This one shift can transform your entire day. Imagine mornings where you state expectations once and children comply. Bedtime routines that flow smoothly because everybody knows what's expected. No more repeating yourself until you're hoarse. Just clear communication and cooperation. You deserve to be heard in your own home. And your child deserves a parent who communicates with confident clarity. You've got this. Now here's something that will take your communication to the next level. It's not just about what you say, it's how you say it. In my next video, I'm going to show you exactly why your tone of voice creates or destroys trust with your child, and how you can use your tone to build cooperation instead of resistance. This is a game changer that you won't want to miss. Catch that next video here, and keep up the good work on your amazing parenting journey.